dev cycle on Reach been different from Halo 3 for you?
Well, with each one of our dev cycles, we're getting a little bit better and making sure we don't kill ourselves towards the end with crunching 24/7 for an entire year straight. We're definitely a lot more disciplined with production, which is definitely helping. But that's just it's a creative title. It's a creative endeavor, you know. So it's going to. There's always great new things that we just gotta have and gotta put it into the game, and that takes extra effort.
You were talking a lot about how Reach gave you the chance to do a lot more with story. How has that been going?
Well, the neat thing about Reach is it allows us, now that we're going back to a prequel before Halo 1, it's kind of a new slate for us. We have this all new territory for us to explore. We weren't tied down with some of the fiction that we've had in the past.
Have you employed different techniques in order to tell the story differently in Reach than in previous Halo games?
Yeah, totally. With our writing guys and with our cinematics crew, I mean, from the beginning, to help kind of convey that, just the different tone and mood of Reach and the gravity and sort of the grittiness of sort of boots in the ground, right in the heart of battle. That kind of meant doing away with our old method of storytelling. So you're not going to see letterbox cinematics in Reach. Even the stuff that we showed in the Vidoc, you're going to see a lot more storytelling that's meant to feel like there's literally just a war photographer right next to you following you around with the camera. It should all feel more natural and ground the player. We don't want to pull the player out of what's happening by bringing down black bars and having them sit back and watch a movie. So that's going to require some new techniques from us. We have really interesting motion capture technology that we're using. We're able to take hand cameras and move them around and script the camera path in real time to give us that more natural, sort of believable, in the trenches feeling. And then, a lot more reliance on combat dialogue and vignettes and moments that'll play out around the character to keep the story moving forward.
The story will definitely be a lot easier to follow in Reach. While it will be rich, and it certainly is in depth, we're starting with a new set of characters, a new story altogether, so it's something that the players don't have to have some previous knowledge of Halo in order to really understand what the heck's going on.
The overhaul of the engine, how is that going to affect players?
Well, I mean, to achieve the vision that Bungie has for Reach, it required some pretty significant technical improvements. So, Marcus and the guys had to rip the whole existing engine apart from the ground and rebuild it. And I think the impact of the player is really going to be just everything's going to look better, be bigger scale. We're going to have way more guys on screen.
Everything across the board looks amazing. I mean, we've definitely given everything a visual upgrade, fidelity upgrade, new lighting model, new textures, new resolution to models, new effect system. Across the board, not only does stuff look better, but it's behaving better too, because we're giving it all a new animation system, new AI behaviors, and the capability. This is really cool.
Hopefully, at the end of the day, that just results in a much more immersive, believable experience. And as Noble 6, you feel like you really are in the middle of humanity's biggest battle ever.
So when you started planning and started developing Reach, what was your one big thing that you wanted to make sure got done or was in the game?
The one big thing, that's a great question because there's so many of them. We really wanted to realize the big battle that took place around Reach, and we wanted to allow the players to explore these huge, epic environments that just foster exploration, and pack them full of good things across the board. I mean, these are things that we didn't want the players to just go into a bigger open environment with nothing in it. I mean, we needed to pack it full of good things, but those kind of directions were almost equally at odds with what we're capable of doing with the hardware, with the technology that we were using. So it required us to really gut a lot of things in the engine and rebuild things from scratch in order to make that vision come to life.
Right. So you guys have done a lot of work with the environment. How much does that play into the actual gameplay?
The environment with Reach itself is a primary character of the game. And we definitely want our players to understand that it's a real place, that real people live there, and it has real physical nature to it that people can kind of get and understand and appreciate as they explore through the environment.
Because the whole game is about the planet's inevitable downfall, we want to establish an emotional connection for players. So throughout the course of the game, as things get more dire, it has an emotional punch. So I think the art team's doing an amazing job of making Reach, even though we're on one planet for the game, just have a bunch of very diverse locales, very interesting areas. We're using lots of interesting weather